Prime Minister Albanese, former Prime Minister Scott Morrison are fully aware that if they use the power vested in them, they could tell British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak tomorrow release Julian Assange. And Rishi Sunak will almost certainly comply. The imprisonment of Julian Assange by the United Kingdom, the imprisonment of a person who has committed no crime other than exposing war crimes by the American government, is illegal.
Yes, it is.
The Prime Minister Albanese could ring up Rishi Sunak now and tell Rishi Sunak, you are illegally holding an Australian journalist. Release him now. If Albanese did that, Julian Assange would be free within minutes. He would be able to come home to Australia to be with his wife and his children. Yet Albanese has chosen not to do so. Now, just possibly, there are reasons why Albanese's been doing nothing for the last 8 months since he was elected Prime Minister. Perhaps he could explain to Parliament why he's chosen to do nothing. Maybe I'm all ears. I'd like to know why Prime Minister Albanese has done so little and said so little about Julian Assange. The perfect way for this to be revealed to the Australian public is for Julian Assange to be debated. Late in 2021, independent MP from Tasmania, Andrew Wilkie, tried to put to Parliament a motion calling on the Australian government to act to free Julian Assange. His motion called upon the Australian Prime Minister to contact the British Prime Minister and the American President and tell him to release Julian Assange. Yet, Parliament would not even debate it. Now, I would have thought if Albanese knew that Andrew Wilkie was wrong, all he had to do is allow the motion to be put, use the opportunity to explain to the Australian people and to other parliamentarians why it would be wrong for him to tell Rishi Sunak to release Julian Assange. For all I know, I might be persuaded, other people might be persuaded. But strangely, Albanese won't do this. He's withholding from the Australian people the knowledge as to why he won't act to free Julian Assange. What is also being held from the Australian public is a case of those people who think Julian Assange should be released. Members of Parliament who want Julian Assange to be released, who want the Australian government to act to free Julian Assange, have been prevented by stupid parliamentary rules. They've been prevented by the major parties from even discussing Julian Assange. In a parliamentary democracy, that is not good enough. In a parliamentary democracy, if there are different points of view about contentious political issues which concern Australia and the whole world, they should be debated. Yet very little is even said on the floor of Parliament. Go through Hansard. How few times has anything been said about Julian Assange? When has the government explained, given an explanation to the public as to why they've chosen to do nothing about it? Almost never. Occasionally petitions are put, occasionally questions are asked, occasionally people make statements, but never has the government been forced to justify its inaction or worse, its collusion with the British government against Julian Assange. Parliament is sitting on Monday next week. We should tell our local politicians, we should tell all the members of the Bring Julian Assange Home Parliamentary Support Group that next week you can raise your voices for Julian Assange. It's about time we heard a little bit more said in our Parliament from Julian Assange, not just an occasional petition presentation, not just an occasional statement. We want Julian Assange to be fully debated. It may well be that both parties stop the debate from happening. At least this time, a division should be called for. If they call for a division, the Australian people would know which members of Parliament want free discussion about Julian Assange,
well, there's
and which
plenty
members
of them.
Parliament are using their votes to suppress debate about Julian Assange.
Good
Quite possibly,
politicians
when they realise that their
will
names
stand
will be
up for
recorded,
truth.
when it will be revealed to the world that they are preventing Julian Assange from being debated in Parliament, they may well change their mind, because they would realise that if they are seen to be suppressing debate about Julian Assange in Parliament, they may well change your vote. If you're a member of Parliament, seem to be voting against open and free discussion about Julian Assange, how would you explain that to your electors at the next election? It's time that this was debated in Parliament, and it's time that the members of Parliament who are against debate, who are against government acting for Julian Assange, to explain their position to the Australian people, to explain to Australian people why they want to do nothing about it. And outside of Parliament, whilst Parliament is not doing anything, we have to continue to protest for Julian Assange. We have to continue to speak for Julian Assange, hand out leaflets, attend protests, and make the public aware, drawing larger and larger numbers, demanding freedom for Julian Assange, demanding that our
Free him
government act
now.
for Julian Assange. Thank you.